as you can see, yes, the Baron is outside. This is actually at Ventus. It's at Ventus, Bundaberg, Seventh Day Adventist, which of course is on the Saturday, on the Sabbath. So Shabbat Shalom, and makes perfect sense. If you're gonna worship, it makes sense at least amongst the Christian denomination to worship on the Sabbath, on the Saturday, and that's what Adventists do. But yeah, I guess just out of convenience, sort of traveling, the Baron had to check out of the cabin and check into another cabin because at 2 o'clock, because I had to extend the accommodation by 2 more days to work in the Turtle Eco Tour tonight from 6:30, and so just out of convenience, I thought it'd be a good idea to come to the Adventists. I don't know if there is a synagogue in Bundaberg, and even getting into a synagogue is now somewhat problematic anyway. Wearing like a pink T-shirt and a Colombian cap and carrying a bag with a laptop. So yeah, but churches, no problem, and no security at the end of the day, and that's the way that religious institutions should be. There should be no security, or maybe you just have cameras. If you want some level of security, you just have cameras, and most shops now, or a lot of places, they just have cameras. So Baron turned up. They had Bible study. Turned up about, I don't know, maybe just after 10, and they had Bible study, and they got the service at 11 to 12, and then Baron got invited back to lunch from 12. I think they're going to the beach. I don't know if there is a beach. I don't know. There is no beach here at Bundaberg. Maybe they're going out to Elliot Heads. That could be interesting, yeah. Get a lift out to Elliot Heads. Maybe do some poetry. T.S. Eliot? I don't know. The Minuscule Ant. Or should Baron read out the Minuscule Ant as a prayer or a prayer request? Could be interesting. Kind of do things like this. So yeah. Now, yes, just in terms of tennis. So made a post. In fact, made a post on Baron's wall about who was the GOAT, and identified, yes, the number of combinations that you could potentially have. I think something like 28 combinations that you could obtain out of potential GOATs if you were to base it on the number of Grand Slams. Just the fact that there's 4 Grand Slams, and also the fact that there is different formats: singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. So somehow Baron came up with 28 combinations. But if you look at significant records, obviously had Margaret Court, 64 slams, and a record 21 mixed doubles. In fact, she currently holds the singles as well, 21, equal with Djokovic. Of course, Novak Djokovic, 21 singles, maybe denied 3 slams due to COVID. That's always going to be a question mark. Nadal, of course, 14 French, but just can't play on grass well enough. Relatively, yeah, can't play on grass and can't play hardcourt. But having said that, when you've got someone like a Djokovic dominating on hardcourt or dominating the Australian Open, but incidentally, he won quite a number at the US, Nadal. How many did he win? Well, I think Djokovic only 4, and maybe Nadal actually won 4 at the US, because incidentally he's actually on 22 slams. But yes, 14 of the 22 were dominated on the French, and in fact only lost to Djokovic twice at the French and Soderling once, and another year was injured. So I guess that doesn't really, or had to retire injured, so that doesn't really count. And yes, Martina Navratilova, a record number of doubles, 31 doubles. If you compare the 31 doubles to the 24 singles of Djokovic court, and then the 21 mixed doubles, you can see how significant that is. 31 compared to 24 compared to 21, if you know what I mean. And then, of course, if you compare, say, what Nadal has achieved, 14 French on the one surface in singles. The next, if you compare that to, say, 10 Djokovic Australian Open, and then you compare that to, say, Martina Navratilova, 9 Wimbledon singles. In fact, she only won 17 17, I think, singles, and 9 came from Wimbledon. That's how dominant she was on grass. And also the fact that she won the 31 doubles. I'd have to, probably a lot was contributed to winning Wimbledon. But then you got Todd Woodbridge. Todd Woodbridge, an interesting character because he won 9 Wimbledon doubles. He won 22 Grand Slams in total, and out of that 22, he won 16 doubles, only behind, of course, a John Newcombe 17 doubles, and then Mike Bryan, who got the record of the 18 when Federer was kind of dominating. But Todd Woodbridge 16 doubles, and then another 6 mixed doubles, taken to 22, more than what Roger Federer won in terms of Grand Slams, and in fact won 9 Wimbledon, and he won a mixed doubles as well at Wimbledon, so 10 on the grass. In itself, if you see what I'm sort of getting at, because if you were to compare, say, the individual surface to Nadal just dominating on the clay, and then to a Todd Woodbridge, so could that then mean that, I don't know, Todd Woodbridge, somewhat, maybe not GOAT, but certainly up there, if you know what I'm getting at. I think those individual records have to have some sort of weighting. And so it'd be interesting to see, well, who's won the most number? If you can combine the singles, doubles, mixed doubles, does then Nadal hold the record on clay? Have to look at the stats. Probably does, which is interesting because it was only from singles. I mean, if you played doubles or mixed doubles at the French, how many would he have won? Now, who holds then the record? If you can combine singles, doubles, mixed doubles on a surface, is it then more than the 14 on French? You know, what did, say, Margaret Court or a Navratilova? What was Navratilova total on grass? Could be an interesting statistic worth looking at. And so what I'm getting at, there needs to be an app. And so what the Baron is looking at is maybe building an app. And so you can filter on the different services, different formats, and you have some sort of ranking of all the players on what they've achieved in terms of Grand Slams. So that could be of interest to the novice or the general spectator, or to the commentary, or to the players for that matter. Interesting stuff, Baron. Yeah, okay. So maybe getting back to church. It's starting to get a bit hot here, just down in the sun. And you see across the road, they've got the Catholic. I think it's a Catholic church. May go there tomorrow. They're voting. Yeah, there seems to be in the hall. There's the local, the council election, and there's people out there voting. They've been voting the last few days. And there's the church. So I may go to the church tomorrow. And there's Adventists on the other side. Okay. That was the Baron Breaks. Anyone for a Bundy?